Ningen Fushin episode 6, and what a weird episode this was. To be honest, it's one of the weirdest one we have seen until now. Definitely the weirdest one. But I don't mean this in a bad way, to be honest. I actually mean weird in a very interesting way because the episode was a lot different than I expected it was going to be. I knew it was going to be goofy going by what happened at the end of last episode, but to be honest, I didn't imagine an episode like this. Specifically, the dynamic of the characters. I thought it was going to be just a fight between Leon and Nick and just that. But to be honest, I was wrong because, for example, Curran again and his ex-girlfriend have a really interesting battle in this episode. We see a lot more from Claudine in this episode. And by more, I mean about her character, about her persona, about her way of being, about her way of acting. The last episode gave her a lot of screen time, but this episode gave her even more of that. I don't know if we will see more of her in the future. I don't know if the person that was shown at the end of the episode, well, not so much a person, but a boot or a shoe or whatever it is. I don't know if that was Claudine because, I mean, she was arrested in this episode, so I don't know if she's free or anything like that. But yeah, I can see her being in the future. I don't know how, I don't know what role she will have, but yeah, I can definitely see her in the future. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, the dynamic of the episode was actually pretty interesting. They had this match in where math but also boxing was involved, and well, basically Claudine and Curran had to solve math problems, and if I'm remembering correctly, for every 10 points difference they had, the boxer will get to have a, as you can say, free hit on the other. And yeah, that is basically how it worked. And as expected, Claudine, Leon, and all of them were cheating. And yeah, I mean, they were caught cheating. It was a little bit tougher than expected to catch them cheating because yeah, they were being really sneaky, they were being really careful. But I mean, at the end of the day, they were caught. And like I was saying about Claudine, we see in this episode not only more about her, personality, her way of acting, her emotions, and things like that, but we also see a little bit more, or I shouldn't even say a little bit more, but we actually see for the first time something about her backstory. We learned that her parents were trying to sell her, and because of that, she basically had to survive, and in a way became the person that she is today. Although one could argue that it wasn't necessarily that, because even Quran and all of them say at the end of the episode that yes, maybe stuff like that can push you to be a bad person, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be that way forever. You can always change, and that is basically what Quran, Nick, and all the others are trying to tell Claudine. That I mean, yeah, they get her in one way, but in another way, she could have always changed, but she didn't want to do that. You can blame your past all you want, which, like I said, in a way is actually correct. It's actually not the wrong thing to do. You actually have a point to a certain extent, but in another way, I mean, you can always change. You're not a prisoner of your own emotions. You can correct your past. You can basically try to move away from the wrong path, and she didn't do that, so yeah. And we also see in this episode how she's really angry at Nick, not because of this fight they're having right now, but because she doesn't understand why Nick can be so happy even though she dumped him. She doesn't understand how he can be an adventurer again, how he can have friends, how he can be happy and things like that. She's in a way very jealous because she cannot achieve that. She cannot be like Nick. And yeah, her hate goes really deep on Nick. It is not something superficial. She actually does hate him. And not because he's evil, rotten, malicious, or anything like that. In fact, it is because he's the opposite. He's a really transparent character. He says what he wants. He's been living now a happy life. He has friends and things like that. She hates him because of that. And yeah, I think I didn't say this, but I think the thematic of the episode is one of focusing around Curran and Claudine. This is an episode that focuses around them two. We see how they're both basically shown in a new light in this episode. We see the progression of Quran, learning mathematics, but it is more than just that. That was one way the episode was showing us that Quran is starting to believe in herself again, that she's having confidence in herself. That was basically the whole aspect of solving problems and that, not because she wanted to do that, not because she wanted to get smarter, but because she was trying to believe in herself again. She's boosting her confidence. And on the other side, we see Claudine discovering herself, basically trying to figure out where she went wrong. But yeah, that was everything for me. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.